Four men convicted of raping and murdering a 23-year-old medical student on a moving bus in the capital are dead. Now, the brutal attack sparked international outrage, and it was also instrumental in pushing for new anti-rape laws in India. Now, CNA's Nia Punya is joining us from New Delhi this morning. So, Nia, crowds were gathered from very early. 8 years is a long time to wait for justice. How does this execution figure in the country's fight to ensure women's safety?
Julie, just a short while back, we got confirmation from jail authorities that the four convicts were hanged as planned at 5:30 a.m. local time. And you're right, the entire country, if not the world, was watching this execution because it took 7 years to get to this point. And you have the victim's mother. The victim was labeled Nirbhaya by the Indian press. That means fearless, because her name could not be revealed as per Indian laws. The victim's mother has gone on record to say that when she heard of the execution, she hugged her daughter's photo and told her that you finally got justice. And she's saying this is a message to other perpetrators in India as well, to other daughters of India, she says, who can also similarly get justice. 7 years may seem like a long time to many people, but in India, there's actually dispensation of justice done very, very quickly. The country's courts are notorious for its clogged up systems. You have cases that can be pending in courts for decades. Sometimes you even have those who filed petitions die out before a verdict comes out. And you only have a 27% conviction rate as per latest government data when it comes to rape cases. Now, when this rape case had happened and came to light in 2012, there was massive outrage, not just in India, but globally as well. For days here in New Delhi and other parts of the country, we saw people coming out onto the streets demanding justice. The government strengthened rape laws. It included voyeurism, stalking under sexual assault crimes. Fast-track courts were set up to hasten rape trials as well, and the death penalty introduced for various rapes and for repeat offenders. But nearly 7 years on, even as many people in India are celebrating this execution because of how emotional this issue was, because of the gruesome details associated with that gang rape of that medical student on a moving bus. Many people, many women will tell you that nothing has changed for them, that India is still as unsafe as it was back in 2012. We still see 90 rape cases every day. Latest government data says that's 15 rapes reported every single hour. And that's just how unsafe women in India still are. So many are asking whether or not the death penalty and executing rape convicts is really the answer to India's rape problem.
Yeah, Nia, as you mentioned, these deaths really do underscore that alarming rate of sexual violence in India. Have there been challenges enforcing the new law?
Most people will say that there have been. I mean, the system needs to change is essentially what any woman or any human rights activist or women's rights activist will tell you. There's a lot of apathy in the system. For example, a majority of those women who are raped by someone they know, which is why there's social stigma associated with not only coming out and naming their perpetrator, or even coming out and saying that someone was sexually abused. Most women don't even file police complaints because of this stigma. Many times the police have been accused of not taking rape cases seriously, of asking women to go back home and just settle it with a person that they know. There's a lot of apathy sometimes associated with the system. And like I said, the judicial system is also very clogged up. The other criticism that's come to light, of course, in light of this high-profile case has also been the amount of legal avenues that rapists or convicts are granted as per the Indian judicial system. In this case alone, for example, you had 4 convicts. Indian laws mandated all 4 had to be hanged at the same time because they had all been convicted of the same crime. And the men had managed to file staggered legal challenges to their execution, which meant that their hanging was delayed 4 times. This led to a lot of anger on the streets in India, saying that we've convicted these men back in 2013. Why are we still granting them so many legal avenues? Of course, it's also sparked off a debate on the death penalty and whether or not it's actually bears any fruit, because many human rights activists claim that we're still seeing as many rape cases, but now instead of just rape cases, many rapists are also killing the women they rape in a bid to try and destroy evidence. So it's a very complicated scenario. But speaking about the legal challenges, in the last 24 hours, Julie, these 4 men also filed 5 separate legal petitions to try and delay their hanging. And that's also led to more anger. The government now saying it's going to change the way the legal system works. It's not going to give rapists as many legal avenues when it comes to trying to delay their execution. But the question is that what we need to change? Do we need to have more police patrolling? Do we need the police to try and register cases as soon as they're filed? Do we need more education to try and ensure that men understand that they should not be raping women?
Those are some valid questions. Nia, thank you very much for the details. That was Nina Punya in India.